Yeah, beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Beat your addiction, live free. Ralf Friedrichs is who you see. Listen in when you're feeling low. Take back your life, today's show. Stay positive, hope, and keep faith. Stand strong against any odds that you face. Put away the alcohol and the drugs. Fill your time with the things you love. Addiction is tough, but it's worth the work. Treat your body what it's worth. Spread positivity, inspire all. If we stand together, we will never fall. I help others see the other sides of life. A sober life, letting go of the strife. So give me a call, I can help. 1-844-4405-HELP. Homeless shelters, hospitals, jails, wherever you are. I am Ralf Friedrichs and I am here for you. 1-844-405-HELP.
Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an author. I'm an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, and the host of this show, the Take Your Life Back radio show. Folks, let's talk about choosing hope when life seems hopeless. If you've watched any TV news lately, you've seen reports of stress and hopelessness many people are experiencing today throughout the world. Layoffs, unemployment, foreclosures, bankruptcies, and natural disasters are putting enormous pressure on families to give up hope and succumb to despair. This is not just the experience of unbelievers. I have met many Christians who face difficult times in their finances, in their health, family, and emotions. Like Job and many other men and women in the Bible, they're at the end of their rope and their faith is being tested. At such times, we need to know where to turn for help. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. In Psalms 121, 1 and 2. Friends, no matter what difficult circumstances you may be facing this morning, God wants you to know that you can turn to Him as your very present help in times of trouble. Psalms 46, 1. Even though you may feel surrounded by problems on every side, the Lord wants to be your hope, the one who lifts your head in Psalms 3:3. When the brook dries up, sometimes we forget that men and women in the Bible often went through trials very similar to those that we as people face today. For example, even though God provided Elijah with food brought by ravens and water from the brook, it happened after a while that the brook dried up because there had been no rain on the land. 1 Kings 17:7. Have you ever felt like your brook dried up and God's help and provisions were nowhere to be found? Perhaps you're feeling that way right now listening to me, struggling to make ends meet and wondering whether God will be faithful to meet your needs. At times like these, it is important to remember that whenever you ask the Lord for a miracle, He will give you instructions. In Elijah's case, God told him to go to Zarephath. Arise, go to provide you. Without debate or delay, Elijah arose and went to Zarephath. He chose to obey, knowing that the obedience that was the only hope of unlocking God's supernatural provisions in life. Just as Elijah had chose whether or not to obey God's instructions, so the widow he found in Zarephath faced a difficult decision when the prophet told her, "Please bring me a morsel of bread or in your hand." This may not seem like a very difficult request, but you have to understand the woman's situation. I do not have bread, only a handful of flour in the bin, and little of oil in the jar. And I see I'm gathering a couple of sticks that I may go and prepare for myself. Faced with seemingly hopeless situation, the widow could have surrendered to fear and unbelief, but instead she chose hope and obeyed God's instructions. As long as the woman held on to her meager supply of food, that's all she had. But when she obeyed God's instructions and released what was in her hand, God intervened in her circumstances and released the supernatural abundance that was in his hand. Although the Lord's instructions to his poor widow must have been seemed very totally unreasonable, his purpose was not her demise, but her blessings. Elijah assured her that she would obey. Folks, the bin of flour shall not be used up, nor shall the jar of oil run dry, until the day the Lord sends rain on earth. She chose to obey the prophet of the Lord, and as a result was miraculously provided for. She and he and her household ate for many days. The bin of flour was not used up, nor did the jar of oil run dry, according to the word of the Lord, which he spoke by Elijah. What an amazing miracle in a time of drought and famine. This desperate woman went from having not enough to having more than enough. From the brink of starvation and death, she experienced life in abundance, all because she chose to obey the man of God and believe the Lord's word to her. What's in your hand, I ask you this morning? Remember, the key to turn around in your life is not some far-off place. It's right there in your hand. But what's the problem? What you have in your hand must be transferred into God's hand. How much food does it take to feed more than 5,000 hungry people? Only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. If they are transferred into Jesus' hand and blessed by him in Matthew 14:21, but how many people could have been fed without Jesus' blessings on the loaves and the fish? Maybe 5 or 10 people. In Exodus 4:2, God asked Moses the same question. He's asking you today, what's that in your hand? Open your hand, take a look. What is in your hand? All Moses had in his hand at this point was a simple wooden shepherd's rod. But after he laid it down and surrendered it to the Lord's hand, it was transferred to the Lord and into the Lord's hand. Folks, friend, I believe your breakthrough from God is at hand at this time. And it's literally in your hand. Transfer what's in your hand into God's hand. Whatever breakthrough you need for him, whether in your finances, marriage, job, health, or children, the key to surrendering all your resources into the hands of your almighty covenant partner. God wants to bless you. During a difficult season in the world's economy, it's more important than ever to keep God's commandments. Sow your financial seeds into the good ground of his kingdom. Wrap your faith in expectations and fully persuaded that he will bless you. God promises that if you keep the words of his covenant, you will prosper in all that you do. And as you are blessed, you can be a blessing to others, sending hope and salvation of Jesus Christ to the nations of the world. Friends, call me at 844-405-HELP. You and I, we can help each other take our lives back. Be good to yourselves, and just as important, be good to each other. And remember, a simple smile to a total stranger can change that stranger's life forever. And guess what? It can even help change yours. May God bless you, and may God bless America. Take good care of yourselves.
The show is over, but your life starts today. Taking back your life's the only way. Keep faith, stay positive, push through. Take back your life, it starts with you. Alcohol and drugs can't control your life. Let go of the negative and the strife. Ralf Friedrichs is the man guiding your way. The show is over, but your life starts today. Call Ralf Friedrichs at 1-844-405-HELP. That's 1-844-405-HELP. We hope you love the show today and tune in next time. Take back your life today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Yeah.
May God bless you all. Hey, I just wanted to introduce my special guest today. You probably heard him in the background. That was my little dog, Max, little dachshund. He felt that he had to say hello a few times in the background. I apologize for the barking, but he is part of the family, and he's a creation by God. May God bless you all. Have a happy, happy day.